Star quality. I got it. I got this. You got it. You got it. My chart says so. Look at me go. Sun, moon, rising. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. Earthlings. What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Star quality.
What's it all mean? What's it all mean?
Star quality.
Woo. No, dude, really, what does it all mean?
Star quality. I got it. You got it. You got it. Star quality. Star quality. What is up, Star Party people? It is me, your host, astrologer Stevie. Happy full moon in Capricorn. Oh, I am just getting back from my brother-in-law's wedding. It is the day after the wedding. Your girl, the title of this full moon episode is Know Your Limits. And I do think I do know a good amount of my limits, but that was not the case last night. Well, I was aware of the limits, but I pushed it into the party zone. So I am a little hungover, a little sleepy. My parents are in town. They came in, so I've been hosting parents for the last few days. So they are out grabbing a bite, and I am recording this for you in the midst of, it's Cancer season still, so I'm in the midst of family visits and a family wedding, and yeah, that's where I'm entering. So it'll be interesting even for me to listen back to this and see, in terms of like connecting with spirit, if you will, if you do drink or do drugs or whatever, there is, I think, I don't mind a few sips of wine before a reading or something like that. Like you're connected in a different realm is what I'm here trying to say in this hangover state. So I'm curious what my takes might be in this condition, but to be revealed shortly. Fun fact too, for my family wedding, happy wedding to my newlyweds, Danilo and Emily. Danilo is my husband Pablo's brother, and now Emily is his wife. And I love my sibling, in-law, extended family universe. I just have a fab sibling. We have a group chat called Sibs and Sigs, and it's Pablo and his two siblings, and then their two partners and me, and it's just so cute. I love them all. I was beginning to tell the tale of I elected her wedding for June 27th, 2026. I'm recording this the day before the full moon on the 28th, and also before, and we'll get into it, before Mercury retrograde. Did Mars move into Gemini yet? I'll have to look at my... guys, like, this episode, this moment, this astrology is so nuts because, like, this, like, June 29th day, like, weekend, like, the 28th through the 30th window, Mars moves into Gemini. Jupiter fucking moves into Leo. Mercury retrograde starts in Cancer, and we have this Capricorn full moon. So it is just a lot. I'm really curious what comes up for all of us. And of course, look to the parts of your chart. And if you want to know that for you, you can book an individual reading, link in the show notes, etc., etc. But my calendar is up for July. So I can't remember when this was, maybe at least 6 months or plus ago. I helped my now sister-in-law pick her wedding date with the use of astrology. All of June was pretty good. Like, June was maybe like the best wedding month of the year. We saw a lot of celebrity weddings. Obviously, we saw Dua Lipa multi-day. It felt like so clearly chosen by an astrologer. I am not a Swiftie, but I know she was supposed to allegedly get married on June 13th, but that didn't happen. Or maybe it did in secret, but I don't think it did, because now it's still too early to know if this is rumor. I would think this is rumor, and if this is not rumor, then she's just one tacky hoe, but allegedly getting married 4th of July weekend now in Madison Square Garden. Again, that is, I don't understand. Not my cup of tea. but I'm also just astrologically, that's not a great, once we get into July, well, I mean, this whole full moon and all the things I mentioned before really kicks off a vibe switch once we get into July. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad vibe switch, but kind of the cruising stability, normalization, getting maybe on our 2 feet of May and June definitely changes starting today, basically. And again, some Mercury retrogrades, that will be later in a different post. I'll get more into the Mercury. We'll talk about it in this show today too, but a deeper horoscope dive will be available for you. But Mercury retrogrades 3 to 4 times a year. It's a good resting point to check back in and where you want to go, where you want to head. We'll get into this in the full moon episode. But this full moon, before I even do that, the wedding. Now I can talk about it after the fact, having experience. I'm really happy. The June 27th date really was very nice. Still Cancer season, still Jupiter in Cancer. Now Venus in Leo, which I thought was fun. Of course, it just also there was dates that for some reason or another couldn't work. That Jupiter Venus conjunction in Cancer was very nice, but I'm still, we still have Jupiter in Cancer, and I like Venus in Leo. I thought that was really sweet. But what was cute, what I actually really liked about this day for the 27th astrologically was the moon was in Sagittarius, which I just think a fire moon wedding when you can. Of course, there's many other factors to, electing a date, but I really like a fire moon just for a party where you want to have fun. What's the intention for the event? And there was this fire trine between the Sagittarius moon, Saturn and Aries. I don't think it didn't hit the exact trine with Neptune and Aries, but Neptune's also in Aries by sign. But the main trine was Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius moon, Saturn and Aries, and Leo Venus. So I just really liked that trifecta of Venus, Leo, openness and love, and then the Sagittarius moon of fun and adventure together, and then the Saturn Aries and commitment. And I think a lot of people fear Saturn or Mars, etc., when you're electing something, and it's but it's a marriage and you want this long lasting, So I liked this Saturn influence of the fire energy. And then so we're in this fire trine day, and the day was gorgeous too. It was supposed to be cloudy, but the sky broke through. And I've noticed if you need a day where the weather hopefully will be better than not, I think fire moon days, it breaks through, especially if you're trying to break through cold or cloud. That happened to my wedding too. It was supposed to rain, but we elected it for an Aries. I elected it for an Aries. My husband just approved it. I elected it for an Aries moon day, my lunar return, and the clouds, literally temperature went up 10 degrees and the clouds broke through. Now, is it causation, etc.? We can get into the theories of astrology there, but what I was saying was my now sister-in-law, Emily, she wore red on a fire trine wedding thing. And that is not it wasn't a cultural, she wanted to wear red. And it's sick as hell because she's cool. She's a cool rebel Aquarius. Love her. My brother-in-law is a Scorpio. He did think he was a Libra for most of his life. I was the person that got to inform him that I think was 8 minutes into Scorpio season. So, but he had another prominent Libra placement. was my bargaining with him. I was it is. I don't know if anyone's ever had to do this, if you're fellow astrologers or just friends who've done this, but when you have to tell someone they're not their sign, it's I don't know, it's very emotional because you've got connected to it, your whole life. So anyways, mazel tov and congratulations to Danilo and Emily, and we'll get into this full moon chart. So this full moon is happening on June 29th. What the fuck date? June 29th at 4:56 p.m. Pacific time. Adjust for your time zone. This is June 29th, 2026. And then I'll have an image of the chart in the show notes as well, so you can take a look at that and reference that there. But I'm going to go over all the aspects happening to the sun and the moon and do a vibe check on all the planetary alignments and see what they're saying for us for this full moon. And this full moon is coming at a really interesting time, as I mentioned, with all the planetary changes that are all happening within, a 24-ish hour range of each other. And this full moon is happening at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So, of course, too, where you have 8 degrees plus or minus, I would say maybe even up to 5 each way. those planets getting, whether they're conjuncting, squaring, opposing, sextiling, trining, etc., all the aspects. So seeing where maybe you have 8 degrees of earth signs, where you have 8 degrees of cardinal signs is going to give a lot of info. Those are going to be our really strongest felt. I immediately felt like the phrase or mantra or something to sit with for this Capricorn full moon was knowing your limits. Because just as I talked about with Saturn before, Saturn is the planet of Capricorn, and Saturn is pretty prominent in this lunation story too. So the full moon is always when the sun and moon are in opposite signs. Oh wait, this will be out beforehand. Hang on, I need to just say this before I forget. I'll come back to the full moon. I'm leading a full moon hike. Hello, if you're in LA and listening to this before, when will I get? I'll get this out ASAP. Anyways, I'm leading a hike around 7 p.m. ish in Griffith Park to the observatory for our Valley Girl Hiking Club. So I will link that in the show notes too. So if you're around Monday, June 29th, the evening of the full moon, we're going to go up and hike and do a moon hike. So come on through. I'll be leading it and guiding it alongside my friend Veronica, who is the founder and community leader for Valley Girl Hiking Club, and it's a really cool group. I did it last year for a full moon hike around this time for the strawberry moon. So we'll get, I just realized my mom who's in town brought me a strawberry painting, and it's a strawberry full moon. Cuteness. So yeah, this full moon is happening at 8 degrees. So when the sun and moon are in opposite signs, that is a full moon for you. So sun and moon, I'm going to get into the aspects happening here, and there is of course, the sun and moon are doing their opposition, and that's always the case with the full moon. But the aspects being made to both the sun and moon are the same because we have a T-square action going on to 2 separate planets. So that, and because Neptune and Saturn, so Neptune is at 4 degrees of Aries, Saturn's at 14 degrees of Aries. So they're in this wide conjunction. Some people wouldn't even count it because they're separating, but they'll come back together eventually. But we are getting a little break from them being super close together, which is nice because, Saturn and Neptune together, of course, every planet configuration is going to have its benefits, but it also does a lot of confusion when there's Neptune there with the planet of structures and rules. And I think because this full moon, and I'll get more into it in a sec, is our first full moon with Mercury retrograde in a hot minute, reconsideration is always going to be on the table. And so the moon is squaring Neptune and Saturn, and then the sun is also squaring Neptune and Saturn. So both the sun and moon are a place of identity and consciousness and what we're doing out in life, what we're building, growing. The sun is really here to do life, is what I think of. The sun is our main actor of our hero's journey of whatever the hell we're doing. And then the moon is that internal world and the thoughts behind that and the feelings and what's needed to feel safe to go be that sun out in the world, right? They both need each other, and full moons and new moons and any moon cycle is an invitation to check in on those feelings. But they're making, because they're in opposition and they're both squaring Neptune and Saturn, they're making 2 T squares. I guess maybe technically one, I don't know, they're far enough apart that it feels like they feel like 2 distinct messages. But the sun and moon are squaring Neptune and Saturn. So, of course, there's always going to be a reality check when we are having tension to Neptune. And I'll get to the Saturn part in a sec, but let's focus on the Neptune because there's maybe clarifying feelings that are needed for that moon if there's been a lot of ambiguity. And the same with the sun, feeling not of yourself or doing the things that you need to do, maybe even putting other people ahead lately. I don't know. It even in a smaller, maybe for me, oh my God, I've been on other people's schedules because I'm with family and this, it can even highlight those things where maybe you're not feeling as in charge of your time or something. That's needing clarification. And then at the same time, Saturn is, it has another aspect going to Venus, but we're just going to focus on the sun and moon aspects only for now. They're also then getting impacted by Saturn, and Saturn really, this is where I come back to knowing the limits, because Saturn is about limits and boundaries and rules and regulations and stress testing. But after a certain point, after a certain amount of stress testing, it's time to okay, it's been stress tested. Is it good to go, or do we need to reinforce? Do I need to add a different element to whatever it is? And maybe that's in your work or relationships. It feels very, maybe that's because Cancer and Capricorn are really the planets of home and work, right? Like in a very kind of, I don't know, simplified stance, our internal and our external, what we're building behind the scenes, what we're building in more of a public place or image. So some like reconfiguring of work-life balance too. What has been working, what's not working, like what has been spiking the cortisol and it's like not even yielding the results you want, like I think stressing over shit that just needs to, it's like, you just hit that thing where you're like, oh my God, that thing that's always stressing me out. It's like, yeah, it's like, I think it's just going to always stress you out if this is how you're going to do it for the rest of your life. So we need to then do ... Like there needs to be, and I think Mercury retrograde, since we're in it right now with this, offers a like different perspective, or like, I can't do this anymore. Like again, even knowing your limits emotionally, Saturn and Capricorn in a very physical, financial, time limitation way, but then also Cancer in an emotional, relational, there's only so much I can help you with this thing too, and it doesn't mean we're cruel. I think it's just people will take if you continue to open your pockets, and same, maybe like at work, you offered to do this one thing one time and now they expect you to do this thing all the time. And, it sucks to have those like awkward conversations, but it's also, you're setting the tone and you only know your limits, right? Like, and other people's limits are going to be different than yours too. And that's the other part. If you've been maybe trying to work within limits that have been set by someone else, or like you think you should be doing, or you see how someone else does this thing, I don't know, like for me, it's taking me a long time to learn. Some things I'm so fast at doing and some things I'm so slow at doing, and remembering which are which sometimes, we'll get more into the Mars change that just happened because Mars just moved into Gemini, and I'll talk about it a bit more too. I mean, this is right before Jupiter goes into Leo. Like we are 29 degrees 56 minutes, it's about to cross over to its new side. So there is also a lingering last look lesson, but we'll get more into that with Jupiter, and it's also conjunct fucking Mercury retrograde, so coming up soon. But yeah, that's the aspects to the sun and moon, and I'm going to keep getting into this chart. And where will I go next? Well, I'll probably go to that other Saturn aspect that's being made with Venus, which is a nice trine. Not that trines are always technically nice, but I do like this one. But this is where the free version of the episode does end. I do have paywall remainder of the episode coming up, and I'm going to go over the rest of the chart, and I'm going to go over that new Gemini Mars, the Mercury retrograde, every other planet that we haven't covered yet in this lunation chart. But that is for my third spacer. So if you would like to upgrade your subscription, please do. There's 7-day free trials. You get all the access to the weekly horoscopes. It's also a great way to just support me. This is a user supported publication. Getting one-off readings is also a great way too. But if this is in your realm of possibilities, consider it. You can also pay the flat yearly rate, and it's like much cheaper. But for $7.77 a month, for the cost of treating me to a coffee, you get all the research, discuss bonus things, all the paywall things, and also you're helping keep the free stuff free so that anyone can come in and enjoy it too. So shout out to your support. Really appreciate you all. And I'm going to get more into the rest of this lunation. Happy strawberry full moon. And let's talk about Venus now. Okay.